Blessed love, I am the Honorable Priest Isaac. I am an official priest within the realms of Rastafari of the Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress. I also hold a certification in the craft of astronomy from Politecnico di Milano in Italy. Our universe and its makeup has always been an intriguing subject for humankind. Astronomy is the study of everything in the universe beyond the Earth's atmosphere. Ancient astronomy is similar, but pays special attention to the physical and spiritual values of stars, planets, moons, and other celestial objects. It also brings in the terrestrial component, being things on an earthly plane, such as plants, human organs, and connects them to the heavenly bodies. In this course, you will learn the makeup of various planets and stars, how to locate them in the night sky, along with their associated constellations. You will also be taught about the earliest civilizations known for their astronomical comprehension, namely Kush, also known as ancient Ethiopia, Kemet, called Egypt today, the Dogons, and the Bozos, as well as the civilization of Sumer. You will also learn about black holes, their nature and origin, as well as how the ancients viewed them. Ancient astronomy is the mother of archaeoastronomy and astrotheology. Both subject areas are covered by the Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge. Sign up today. Visit our website, priestisaacinstitute.com, or email us, priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com, for more information. It's the Winter Solstice Extravaganza, a festival unlike any other in the world. Join us for 5 days and 5 nights in the Caribbean island of Antigua. Experience our beaches, our historic island tour, splendid accommodations, and our plant-based meal. And of course, the sunrise and the sunset hike to the Stonehenge of the Caribbean, Green Castle Hill, Mount Anu, amongst the megaliths that align with the stars. Reserve your spot today and join us from Wednesday the 18th to Sunday the 22nd of December 2024 for the Winter Solstice Extravaganza. Visit our website, priestisaacinstitute.com, or email us, priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com.
Are you searching for unique handmade black cultural crafts, t-shirts, and accessories? Look no further. Introducing your ultimate destination for the vibrant and captivating creations that celebrate Rastafari and African culture. At Black Dominion, we bring you a curated collection of exquisitely designed, crafted products honoring the rich heritage of Rastafari, Ethiopia, and the Black diaspora. With our user-friendly website, shopping is a breeze. We ship worldwide, bringing Black culture to every corner of the globe. Visit www.blackdominion.shop today and start exploring the incredible range of handmade Rastafari and Black culture. Find your inspiration, embrace your roots, and stand out from the crowd.
Royal blessing, royal family. Give thanks. The head that once was crowned with thorns is crowned with glory now. Give thanks for your presence with us as we glorify Negus and Agas in all good doings and sayings. As you know, it's another moment of the tiger's nest. Definitely give thanks to the great Joshua Courtesy. Naya Bingi order. We're talking about Daniel's #1 band. Royal family, it's another edition of the Tiger's Nest. I'm honored to have you in the zone. Honorable Priest Isaac here with you. We're going to have a wonderful sit down. Of course, we're going to continue a subject area that we started maybe 2 or so strongs ago. And the subject was entitled at the time, Does the God of the Bible smoke cannabis? In fact, I think the subject was, Does God smoke marijuana, just in general? And but what we're going to do this evening, we're just going to somewhat, in a sense, seal up the discussion, and we're going to highlight an episode, I would say, in the Bible, in the scripture, that to me clearly shows that the individual who is Joseph now, the prophet Joseph of the Bible, the son of Jacob, clearly shows that he is partaking of the chalice, the chalwa. Okay. But for sure, family, we did a wonderful program as we took time to highlight the anciency of the cannabis, the cannabis, the cannabusa, the the ibis, which is Tahuti, the thought, the wisdom, the thought. You understand? The ibis, the bird, the can, they try to can the ibis, because that's why Popeye bust the can and eat the spinach through his pipe. I wonder if you're following me. But you see, this is why the previous program is very important, and even the programs before that. As I said, the Holy Grail that Christ was partaking of at the Last Supper is the chalice as we know it today. I'm talking about the chalice pipe, the Holy Grail. So when he says, pass the cup around and let every man take a sip, I'm talking about the chalice. Now, of course, we understand the agency of the cannabis itself, you know, even seen on wall paintings in Japan, tens of thousands of years old. And of course, you know, it is the same mark. Of course, you have in the temple of Ramesses II, they would have found the hemp fibers. Of course, even in the temple of Akhenaten, they would have found resin. So for sure, we comprehend the anciency of the cannabis. In the previous program where we were talking about this topic, we highlighted Vishnu, which is considered by some as the oldest worshipped god. That's what some historians say. But anyway, this oldest worshipped god is definitely known for burning the oldest worshipped plant. Remember, it is the same cannabis that some say was made from the skin of Shiva specifically. You have Shiva, Vishnu, and Brahma. And although Shiva is actually somewhat in third place amongst that trinity, Shiva still has a more, I would say, illustrious career over Vishnu and over Brahma. As I said, Shiva is considered the oldest worshipped god. And of course, Shiva now is known for burning the bang lassi, or drinking, pardon me, the bang lassi, but banging it in the bong. And of course, that is a drink that is known to be made from the cannabis. And again, the cannabis came from the skin of Shiva, from the flesh of Shiva was the hemp, the mafaizan. made. I'm just running through this because we would have covered all of this already. Give thanks for those who are just coming in. So again, remember even the same Shiva, when he went up into the Mount Kailash, it is said that he came down with the cannabis tree in one hand and the book of yoga in the other hand, to clearly show you the balance, to understand that they work together. And the yoga is actually the meditation within the realms of meditation, utilizing the cannabis that naturally makes you meditate. So we understand the agency of it. As I said, you could even check the YouTube channel and check for the video, does God smoke cannabis or marijuana, something of the sort. We highlighted in the book of Isaiah, when Isaiah said he went up into the house of the Lord and he saw the angels, the sixth winged ones, going around the altar, and one of them took the coal from off of the altar and came to him and placed the coal with the tongs from off of the altar, placed the coal on his lips, because he had a problem. He thought that he was in the wrong place. Well, he was in the right place, but he was the wrong person, because his lips were, he was around people that had unclean lips, people that said any old thing, talk any old crap, speak any old lies. And I mean, he just felt that he couldn't be around here. He's too unholy to be here. And one of the natty dread angels flew to him and took the chalice and said, take a sip, high grade, high grade. And he took a sip and then he said, yeah, I'm ready now. And the Most High even said, who shall go for me? Who shall go and clean up this generation? Who shall go and teach them the gospel? Who shall go and uplift their thought? Who shall teach them their culture and their ancient tradition? And Isaiah said, here I am, my Lord, send me. A moment ago, he thought he wasn't worthy. He thought he was a waste of time. He shouldn't even be here. But after he got a touch of the highest grade, according to the book, the angel took the coal from off of the altar and placed it on his lips. But we already understand that that's just an allegorical way of expressing that he was burning the challah. For those who are unfamiliar with allegory, again, I will point you to the cathedral built by Charles the Bald, the Carthage Cathedral built by Charles the Bald, where on one of the wing, I think it's the west wing, you have I stand corrected with that, but you have the statue of Melchizedek. Now, of course, it ain't the real Melchizedek. It's some, Santa Claus looking Melchizedek from the medieval time. But of course, these Freemasonic individuals who would have built the Carthage Cathedral, when they fashioned Melchizedek, they had him with the chalice of Christ in his hand. Now, Melchizedek is thousands of years before the Christ, the Melchizedek that we know of in the Bible, that some say is Shem. It's thousands of years before the Christ, yet still this Melchizedek had chalice of Christ, which of course in the sculpture is really like a cup, what you call it, kind of cup, the goblet-looking cup. And inside of the cup, there is a stone. Not a stone someone put in there that you can take out. The stone is a part of the sculpture. You got to understand the Freemasonic undertone here. These fellas that sculpt, that sculpt this statue, they have, I think, the statue of David, the statue of Isaiah, the statue of some other brothers and sisters around the Carthage Cathedral. But this one of Melchizedek now, he has the chalice of Christ. So that alone within itself is a Freemasonic expression there, just to say that he has the chalice of Christ. The same chalice that Christ would have used several years after him. Although there's always a Melchizedek, don't get me wrong, Christ himself is one, you get it. But within the cup now, the chalice, there is the little stone. So if it was a regular cup that you drank out of, like a cup, and you're going to drink, the wine, why would you have a little stone in the cup? Now, suppose you drink the stone. Let's just suppose you swallow the stone now. You're in problems. So we know it's something symbolic because the stone is what is called the gritty. For those of you who smoke the chalice, who burn the chalice, you know that there's a little stone that you put inside of the cup, that you put inside of the kerchief, that is known as the gritty. That is the stone that was inside of the cup of the Messiah, the Christ, which is the chalice, the Holy Grail itself. And according to those who created that Carthage cathedral, Melchizedek had the cup with the stone inside of it. So when you hear them fellas say, give me one on the rocks, yeah. No, but it's not a joke. This is serious. This is why rum and wine and vodka and whiskey and bourbon and gin and all the other stuff is considered to be spirits. That's what they call it, spirits. What kind of spirit is it? In that case, it's demonic spirits. But you know, that is just a mockery, again, of the ancient art of the service, the communion with the cup. Remember the cannabis, that's why the cannabis is seen as something to drink. That's why when we sealed up the previous program, we were telling you about Ezra. In Ezra, the second Ezra, which is seen not in the regular Bible now, but in the Apocrypha. And Ezra said he went up in the mountains with the other brothers, and the Lord came unto him and gave him a cup filled with something like water, but the color was like that of fire. You understand? The fire and the water must go together. That is why at the Last Supper, he had the cup. It was the bread and the wine. Deep vibes, deep vibes. The lamb's bread. The lamb who came, the living lamb, is symbolic of the bread that is now to be broken. The sacrificial lamb is now the broken bread, the lamb's bread. And the lamb's bread is put on the altar. That's the kochi. As I said, we have a program called the Holy Grail. All you have to do is to Holy Grail, YouTube channel, Priest Isaac. It will show up and you can check it out. Almost 4 hours in length, giving you detail as it relates to what I'm talking about here. But anyway, the Holy Grail, the cup, the lamb bread, the lamb's bread, sacrificed on the altar. You understand? And of course, the wine, just as the belief says, the wine is symbolic of the blood. Yeah, that is why even within the chalice now, when the water turns green, that is the blood of the plant, the chlorophyll. And the green plant represents Osiris, the green god. You know, that's why he was chopped up into several pieces and put on the altar and lit a fire. And yeah, it's deep because all of this is just the allegory of the reality of what is taking place in front of us. So the chalice now, my royal family, that I and I partake of as Ras Atafari, the chalice is a very serious tool. That's why you can even look at it. It looks like that device in the chemistry lab. You know, we make clouds with the chalice. The chalice is symbolic of the womb of the woman. That's a life is being birthed there when you see that so-called smoke come out of your nostril after going through that process, through the water and up the shank and through your pituitary and your pineal and your hypothalamus chambers, through your temple, picking up your thoughts. I hope you said a prayer before you did it. You see how deep the thing is? Give thanks for those who are just coming in. Don't worry, you haven't missed a thing. We're just warming up. We haven't started yet. Yeah. But you missed plenty. You definitely need to check it from the beginning. Give thanks to the life giver and the keeper of life. What I want to do now, family, and anything that we need to revisit, we will just revisit in our explanation. But what I would like us to do, we're going to visit the scriptures now. I'm going to have a quick read of the book of Genesis chapter 44. You can definitely look and highlight it. And speaking of the book, I want to highlight again the magazine Kidemi. And let me ask, how many of you have not seen the magazine Kidemi? Now, I don't mean you've been watching me and you see me speak about it. Have you gone to the website? Have you emailed me and say, hey, Priest Isaac, I would love to see the magazine Kidemi in more detail. I'm watching you on the YouTube and the Instagram, and you're just flipping through it, but I want to get a proper read. Well, you definitely need to do that, and I'm very thankful. I'm telling you, I am overwhelmed with appreciation. We appreciate love all of those who not only have been commenting, those who have been supporting, those who have been endorsing. I'm talking about Kidemi the Magazine. We are honored again for those who have definitely come on board to partner with us, especially for the upcoming edition, which will be coming out on the 21st day of June. So again, for those who have not seen the magazine, yes, as this is being premiered on the YouTube, the link for the magazine is in the description below the video. Yes, but it's basically the website priestisaacinstitute.com, priestisaacinstitute.com. But press the link in the description below and definitely, click more. Blessed love, I am the Honorable Priest Isaac. I am an official priest within the realms of Rastafari of the Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress. I also hold a certification in the craft of astronomy from Politecnico di Milano in Italy. All right, you can definitely check that for yourself. Now, let me just remind you, Royal Family, those of you who have businesses, whatever the business may be. I mean, I know you're conscious enough for people. I mean, I don't have to worry about you. As I said, the upcoming edition is in December. We're talking about the 21st day of December, and we are definitely looking to, let's say, bring to an end the taking in of clients for our upcoming edition of this magazine, Kidemi. So again, Royal Family, you can contact me for those who want to advertise with us. Remember, you can get a full page, you can get a spreadsheet, you could get a half page, you could get a quarter page, you could get beautiful video ads like these, and you will get your message sent around the world. I mean, many times over. As you know, our marketing is very rigorous right now, and our promoting is the same, and definitely that will increase sales. So I'm telling you, once you have a business that you want the world to see, or even just the people in your region to see, because we're getting everywhere, you can definitely contact me. Email me, priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com, and let me know that you would like to advertise. And don't wait and make it get too late for you to advertise with us in the magazine Kidemi. Now listen to this as well, eh? How about creating a magazine for yourself? I mean, to me, that is the mission. You have a business. You're selling whatever it is you're selling, even if you repair sewing machines. You hear me? So you create a nice catalog. The magazine doesn't have to be as big as mine, a nice catalog with 10 pages, and you highlight the different sewing machines that you fix, whether it's Singer or whether it's, well, that's about all I know, Singer, whether it's whatever the brand is in sewing machine, you just highlight it. And I just picked sewing machine out of my head, whatever it is you do. as I said, also family, even for your family, your mother, father, say you want to make a nice portrait album, digital, uh, not necessarily online, but digital for your family and friends that you can share. You can do it as well, and we present it in flipbook fashion, but specifically for those who have businesses, whether it's a service or whether it's an actual product that you have, whatever. If you have a resort, guest house, what else? If you rent cars, whatever you do, you can create a nice catalog, a nice magazine, just like this, where you can, just like what I'm doing here, you can send it to your customers, your potential customers. You can use your marketing engine, whatever you have as your marketing engine, and literally, promote it. And if you don't have that, we supply all of that as well if you need it. If you don't, we can just create the magazine for you, and there you go. So if you have a restaurant and you want to create a nice, neat magazine, again, it doesn't have to have 50 something pages like mine. And if you want it with 50 something pages and more, it's up to you. But I'm just showing you, giving you an idea for those of you who are business minded. I mean, you'd like a nice, neat, online, digital magazine that you can put on your website, that when they come in your magazine, they can see all you have to offer, whether you're a cleaning service services provider, whether you are a mechanic, whether you whatever you are, man, that's the point. Whatever you create, whatever the service is, whatever the product is, you can get a magazine created for your very own company, for yourself, for your industry, for your enterprise. Let's just say you want to highlight your workforce, from the CEO, from the owner to the CEO, managers, technical staff. Yeah, we can create that. So that might be what you use for promotion, depending on the type of service that you offer, so that your customers and potential customers can see your staff, and that may build a better relationship between you and them. And again, it's just the level of presentation that these flipbooks give. Very cuddly. Many people love them. Very, very family oriented as such, and very friendly and inviting and enticing. Imagine you can sit on these magazines and watch a whole series of documentaries one by one. But anyway, of course, you know what to do. Priest Isaac Institute at gmail.com. All the links are obviously, as I said, in the description below. All right, where were we now? So I want to continue. And remember, for those who will be advertising with us, yes, the time is at hand. So I think you should contact us. Let us at least have a Zoom meeting with you. I will have a Zoom meeting with you one-on-one and give you a better idea of what we can do for you. I cannot see any of my real people listening to me who are serious about business not contacting me at least to hear what I can do for you to make sure that your business gets more, notoriety and gets more eyeballs on it. For sure, if you have a business, obviously you want it to grow. So I'm offering that to you, for those of you who are serious. Now I'm going to read what we're going to read here. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 44. And this is the story of Joseph. Now, for those who may not know the story of Joseph, Joseph was the individual who represents those of us who went into captivity. A few years ago, they had the Project Joseph, which was a project of return to Ghana, meaning that Joseph now was the one that was sent into captivity. So if you know the Bible story, Joseph was sent into captivity. Joseph was the son of Jacob, and Joseph had 11 other brothers. Only one of them was younger than him, and the others, well, obviously were older. And they were a bit jealous of him because of certain prophecies, and they sold him to some Ishmaelites, and they took him down into Egypt, according to the scripture. This is the Bible story I'm telling you. And Joseph eventually became like one of the great rulers of Egypt, basically the ruler, second only to the king of Egypt, after going through his own trial and tribulations, of course, but he came to be on top. So eventually his brothers came down to Egypt now when Joseph, was a bit older. In fact, he was so much so that they did not even recognize him. They didn't know what became of him. In fact, they told his father that, hey, he would have died or some animal ate him. Yeah, so his father was mourning for him for years upon top, years upon top, years. And of course, he had a little brother, Benjamin, and Benjamin really, his father held on to Benjamin because Benjamin somewhat reminded him of Joseph, because Joseph was the little lad at the time amongst his older brothers. And now he's disappeared. And, his father would never believe he would see him again. But he's ruling Egypt. So the time was a time of famine. And the brothers, the children of Israel, came down to see if they can get some corn. To get some corn from the land of Egypt. And Joseph was the king, and Joseph dealt with them nicely and everything, but they did not know it was him. And he did not want them to know. And after dealing with them, he would go and cry and say, boy, man, my brothers who I love, they've returned. But anyway, he was somewhat being wise with them. And I guess to some degree, after what they did to him, yeah, he had to somewhat show them, well, yeah, don't forget me now. So I think if you didn't know the story, you should have a better understanding. Now, Genesis chapter 44. And he commanded the steward, he being Joseph, the steward of his house, saying, fill the men's sack with food, as much as they can carry, and put every man's money in the sack's mouth, and put my cup, the silver cup, in the sack's mouth of the youngest, that's Benjamin, and his corn money. And he did according to the word that Joseph had spoken. Because you must understand, and let me come in here. So they're leaving now. They're going back home. When they came there first, they didn't have little Benjamin. But after, Joseph, he wanted to see his little brother, and he told them, well, listen, you go back and bring the little one. Now, they were afraid to do that because they know that, hey, our father ain't going to let him go. You better try. And he held on to one of them, I think it was Judah, and said, hey, go and bring back the little one. And they went and they told their father, and he was very reluctant to let go Benjamin, but Benjamin went back. And after he saw Benjamin, his brother, Joseph, he saw his little brother, he wept bitterly and everything. And now they're going back home. But he had his own ideas. And he said, yeah, give them the sack of corn. Burn a corn. Brother Vaughn Benjamin have a song there, burn a corn, a man called Ganja corn, burn a corn. So they're going away with the sack of corn. What you're trying to say, that the corn was herb? Let's just read the story. No worry. Let's take our time. Should worry about the cup more than the corn. Verse 2 says, and put my cup, the silver cup, in the sack's mouth of the youngest Benjamin, and his corn money, giving them back the money. And he did according to the word that Joseph had spoken. Your cup, why? Just do what I say. As soon as the morning was light, the men were sent away, they and their asses. And when they were gone out of the city, and not yet far off, Joseph said unto his steward, Up, follow after the men. And when thou doest overtake them, say unto them, Wherefore have he rewarded evil for good? That means when you catch them up, check, ask them, wait, what the man never deal with? I say deal with that, and I. Verse 5. Is not this it in which my Lord drinketh? Huh? And whereby indeed he divineth? Wait up. Ye have done evil in doing so. What's wrong with you, brother? What you talking about? And he overtook them. And he spake unto them these same words. Remember, these are the words Joseph gave him. And they said unto him, Wherefore say my Lord these words? God forbid that thy servant should do according to this thing. Behold, the money which we found in our sack's mouth, we brought it again unto thee out of the land of Canaan. How then should we steal out of thy Lord's house silver or gold? Because remember, this is not the first time he put their money back. And last time he did that, they brought it back and said, Hey, but wait, we got the food and they gave us back our money. This must be a mistake. So he's showing the man, well, listen, man, we deal with you upfully. How now you're going to overtake us and say we have the cup? Which cup you say? The cup which your Lord divineth. That's interesting. What kind of cup? The cup which your Lord divineth. Okay, that's interesting. Let's continue to read this. With whomsoever of thy servants it be found, both let him die, and we also will be thy Lord's bondmen. So go ahead, check the box. And he said, now also let it be according unto your words. That's what he told him. Okay, if you say so. And he said, now also let it be according unto your words. He with whom it is found shall be my servant, and he shall be blameless. All right. Then they speedily took down every man his sack to the ground and opened every man his sack, and he searched and began from the eldest. Confused is jumping, eh? And he searched and began from the eldest, and left at the youngest. And the cup was found in Benjamin's sack. That's the youngest. Then they rent their clothes, oh man, and laid in every man his ass and returned to the city. I cannot believe this. Oh man, what's going on here? And Judah and his brethren came to Joseph's house, for he was yet there, and they fell before him on the ground. And Joseph said unto them, What deed is this that ye have done? Wot ye not that such a man as I can certainly divine? And, you know, the story goes on to say what would have been done. And Joseph had to come down himself, not Joseph, Jacob had to come down, and you already know the story had a happy ending, etc., etc. But I don't need to go into all of that now. Let's just stick to where we are here. In fact, before we get there, let's just return to what we were saying earlier. Now, family is only because of, you know, enslavement and religion and all sort of things why it may be hard for us to even grasp some of the simplest of concepts, with no offense to anyone. So with me here telling people that, well, you know, the ancient people used to burn the chalice. Yeah. and they understood it was a spiritual tool. And the ancient people used to consider the cannabis as a holy plant. It was considered as the nectar of the gods, the incense of the gods, incense for God's machinery. That's the cannabis. It's nothing strange. It was the #1 plant found in all of the top ancient medical papyri from China to Japan to Indonesia and of course Africa. It's seen as the #1 plant found all over the world and used by the gods and all of that. And the chalice again was always a highly relevant tool in this action. So even in the Bible, the special anointing oil that was built by Moses and the ingredients, cannabis is one of them. We highlighted all of this. So the cup that Christ used at the Last Supper is called the Holy Grail. It's called a chalice. It's not the regular cup goblet that they use. It's the same chalice with the shank and the ball and the kerchief. That's what it is. Many times the Bible speaks of this censer that, the angel took the coal from off the altar and put it in the censer and flung the censer to the earth. That whole thing is even the whole nature of the chalice. Because when it was flung to the earth, the censer hit the water and the water became blood. That's what the scripture says. The fire hit the water and the water became blood. So that's why the fire in the kerchief, when it hit the water became the blood of the plant, the chlorophyll. That's why it turned green. And remember, the blood of the plant and its makeup is the same as the structure of the human blood. The only difference, the molecular structure, the only difference is magnesium and iron. In the plant and in the human, respectively. Do we need to remind ourselves of Psalms 18 and smoke came out of his nostril? I mean, I can go on. So we're just pretending. For me to have to try to prove or convince anyone that when the Bible is speaking about the cup, in many cases, it's speaking of the chalice, the cup as we know it, as a holy thing that the Rastaman highlight is just slavery and colonialism and make believe, and we don't want to hear that. Why many people take it as, what you talking about? The angel took the coal from off of the altar and placed it on the lips of Isaiah. Joseph told his steward to take my cup that I use it to divine and put it in the sack of corn and send them on their merry way. In fact, when he caught up with them and they came and they bowed, he asked them, why you take up my cup? Don't you believe that I am a man that divine it as well? Wait, what is this to divine? What they talking about? What that mean? To play marbles? What is it to divine? What does that mean? Now everybody know what divine means. It means holy and full of God, spiritual, but to divine and divine it and all of that. In fact, in the same Bible, they have some people they call the diviners, and they're not appreciated too much by the kingdom of heaven. In fact, the diviners are soothsayers, stargazers, people that deal with sorcery. Now, what I'm not saying Joseph was a sorcerer, I'm just showing you that the term to divine means to call spirits. That's all. Whether it's good or bad, eh? Because to divine can be a very evil thing. Evil thing to divine. That's why they burn hot fire on the diviners. But of course, the divine one is Negus Nagas. So the term to divine really means to call in, to bring into the room, the spirits. So Joseph has a cup. And when he drinks from this cup, he calls spirits unto himself. That's Joseph, the king of Egypt. Remember Ezra in 2nd Ezra, which you find in the Apocrypha. We highlighted this in the previous program on this subject. He said that when he went up into the hills, the Most High came unto him and gave him a cup. Listen to me, family, please. And his cup had something like water. I wonder what's like water. and had the color of fire. But we understand the allegory. And he said when he took a sip, that's how Rastafari speak, take a sip of the chalice, because it's water and so-called smoke, it's clouds you're sipping it. He said when he took a sip, his memory was revived. Come on, everybody that know what the chalice do know what I talking about. His memory was revived. Every episode may not be the same, but you have some good memories. I have some memories and some draws. The first draw is as if the sun just. You ever take a draw and everything just get brighter? Yeah, man. Sometimes you take a draw, you sit for hours, deep meditation. The whole world just start to express itself. The universe just start to speak to you. Ezra said when he took a sip of the Bangla Sea, yeah, he opened his mouth and he just began to speak. Wisdom poured out. So when it says the first miracle the Christ did was to turn water into wine. When you burn the chalice, you turn water into wine. The water in the ball is turned into the blood of the plant. The wine is symbolic of the blood of the lamb spread, because the wine was there with the bread too. But we're not killing no. So it's the chlorophyll. Yeah. From the green God, the asa, cut up into several pieces and put on the altar. The cup. So when Joseph now, the king of Egypt, is telling his steward to put the cup that I burn, the cup that I use it, pardon me, to divine with. To do what? The cup that I call the spirits with, when I meditate, when I go into my trance. Oh yeah, the chalwa, yeah man. Put it in the bag of corn. The bag of corn, eh? And we all know what corn is, eh? Do you have any corn, Ross? Brother Vaughn Benjamin have a song. Said that already. Born a corn. And hear this, no man. When they came back to him and they bow on the feet, Joseph asked them, so why you carry away my cup? Didn't you know that I'm a man that divined it too? So he's saying it in a way like, wait, you don't know I just do my things that way. So what you feel, well, he don't need this. Let's carry this one home. So you just take up my thing and go. Don't you know that I, a man, divine it as well? Now, of course, he was just playing them, eh? But it's not about playing them. That's not the moral of the story here. The moral of the story is that Joseph, the king of Egypt, had a cup that he used to divine. And to divine means to call spirits. And that's what the chalice does. It's a spiritual tool. That's what we use to divine. So when you go through the scriptures, again, we already showed you that even with Moses, in Deuteronomy chapter 30, 31, the chalice is described clearly. And the tuffet is ordained of old. Imagine that for the king, it's prepared. It has been made wide and deep, and the full works. And the pile thereof is fire and much wood, and the breath of the Lord do kindle it. That is the chalice being spoken of there, clear as crystal. Now, family, those of you who have little ones, let me ask you a next question here. How many of you have the book, My First Little Tiger Talking Book? Family, this is extremely inexpensive. How much for the book? I think it's $15 for this. No, come on. This is R20, I think. This is serious, eh? This, many of you, you want to keep your little baby entertained. You want to keep little Junior occupied, and you give him your cellular phone. I would never encourage nobody to do that. I would not discourage you to introducing the young ones to what is taking place around them in reality. But the fact that you're going to give them a little tablet, and you're going to give them iPad, and you're going to give them your smartphone and all of that, or if it's their own, because some of them have their own iPads. They're made for children now with all the giggly stuff. Well, listen, conscious people, they're not going to make anything for conscious us. So we have to use technology and create our own conscious modes and means of and ways of teaching our young ones. Now, listen to me. This is an innovative book. You give this to your child. Now, number one, it's easy to maneuver. Your child is going to love it. Your child can flip the book, him or herself, and the moment the book opens, it will begin right away to teach the child. It will begin right away. Blessed love to everyone. We are going to speak about tigers. Now, the tiger is the largest of the big cats, like lions. So you understand. And when you flip the page, I'm just skipping several pages, of course, another subject area would come up. And the same subject area in the same way, they can definitely, if they flip it page for page, and of course, you have sedimentary rocks and you have metamorphic rocks. Did you get that? Okay. Now, igneous rocks are formed when molten rock like magma or lava that comes out of a volcano cools and solidifies. They can turn their own pages. And then another video will cover. Sea turtles, and there are various types of sea turtles. Now, sea turtles have a similar lifespan to that of humans. They typically live for 40 years, but some... Now, of course, again, family, this has been designed for the young ones to entertain themselves without you sitting with them and saying, look at this and learn this and whatever. They'll be flipping the pages for themselves, and Marcus Garvey will just appear and start to
Marcus Messiah Garvey was born on the 17th of August, 1887, in St. Ann's Bay, Jamaica. He was a charismatic black leader who organized the first important American black nationalist movement in 1919 to 1926, based in New York City's Harlem. Largely self.
So family, you understand exactly what we are talking about. As I said, for sure, you can definitely get a copy of our first, or my first tiger, my first little tiger talking book. And of course, I'm sure your young warrior and warriors will appreciate it. And of course, it will begin them on that track of learning things of importance. We have biology, we have Kiswahili, we have science, we have chemistry, all in this little book and the other books that are coming behind of this. So I would encourage you to contact us, check our website, get your copy of My First Little Tiger Talking Book for your little baby so that they can start to flip through. Because, you know, I understand this is a different time. This is a digital time. This is a technological time. This is ebook friendly for the little ones. So you're still encouraging them to read. As you could see, it's not all video. You have the information. You have what they call the fun facts on the other side of the page. But for sure, it is something that the young ones, the young brain, the young mind can gravitate to, for sure. All about knowledge, general knowledge, information, inspiration. Oh yes, definitely. Give thanks. Beautiful. Yes, Royal Family, give thanks for your presence with us. You already know how to contact us for more information. Email priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com. For those who are watching, the link is in the description below. You already know, if you know your Bible and you do not know your history, the knowledge of your Bible will become a mystery. Yeah, it takes some real eyes to realize the real lives that are amongst us. Give thanks. Holy Emmanuel, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. Blessed.
It's the Winter Solstice Extravaganza, a festival unlike any other in the world. Join us for 5 days and 5 nights in the Caribbean island of Antigua. Experience our beaches, our historic island tours, splendid accommodations, and our plant-based meals. And of course, the sunrise and the sunset hike to the Stonehenge of the Caribbean, Green Castle Hill, Mount Anu, amongst the megaliths that align with the stars. Reserve your spot today and join us from Wednesday the 18th to Sunday the 22nd of December 2024 for the Winter Solstice Extravaganza. Visit our website, priestisaacinstitute.com, or email us priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com.